Okay, hold up. Hi, welcome to Africa hashtag. I mean, Lord. Yeah, I said it. I'm gonna change it back to Africa hashtag. Here I come when I go to Africa. But for now, it's yeah, I said it. So welcome to Yeah, I said it. And today, I am here to first say, like always, hello, nege def, hola, bonjour, bowini, ni hao, assalamu alaikum. If I haven't said it in your language, then put a comment below and I'll be more than happy to say hello in your language. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and I want to thank you guys for the love that you guys been sharing and the support. And I hope you continue to do so. And I hope I'm bringing you a good content with a good guest here who I'm about to introduce in a little bit. And we just want to come to you today and talk about drugs and death. And the inspiration for this topic for me is Keisha Cole's mother, rest in peace, Frankie. And it just, that was just like my last wick, like with everything. But anywho, Michael Bay is going to join us, and he is the owner of Joint Task Production and he is here today to join me on this serious topic that we all need to be talking about. Welcome, Michael. Let me undo his mic for a minute, y'all. Okay, can you hear me, Michael?
Yes, I can. How you doing?
Say hello to my people. Say hello. Say hello to my
How?
people. Say
Hey,
hello to. Say
hey.
hello to everybody.
How all y'all doing? Like, but yeah.
Well, today we come in. He being shy. He was just talking.
No, I'm hearing feedback. So it's like I'm trying to listen. I don't know if you talking, but I'm hearing my own voice come back to me. That's what's happening.
Oh, we can hear. I can hear you clearly. I can
Cool.
hear you.
So I'll just talk
I,
regular and
I
ignore it.
promise you. So, what is your take on drugs and death?
I mean, in relation to each other.
Yeah, or
So
separate,
yeah.
or
So
how
I
do you
mean,
feel about
how? I mean, me growing up, like my closest aunt. Like I watched her battle addiction my entire life. You understand what I'm saying? And it really never changed my view on how I felt about her. You understand? I always had extended arms to her. I know like it was a lot of things that happened and went on within the family, which I was too young to really understand at the time. But watching her battle it her entire life, my entire life, and it was like, you know, it's tough because real good people can get hooked on something. You know what I mean? Like real good-hearted people. My aunt, she had a very beautiful soul. Like she was a very beautiful person, and just watching her trying to fight it, kick the habit over and over again, and she would, be clean and kick the habit over and over. That was tough to watch. And as I got older, starting to understand exactly what was going on and why things were the way they was, within the family or whatever. And like I just know it affects like everybody because like that was my grandmother's only daughter. That was her baby girl at that. You understand what I'm saying? So my
it?
grandmother always let her, no matter she couldn't do no wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Like that was just that love she had for her baby girl. And like that was rough to watch. It was rough to watch, and there's a lot of people that go through these things, and have family members and have to watch family battle addiction. Some people not so good, but you do have a lot of good-hearted people who get addicted. You know what I mean? Like, and they do need your love. You know what I mean? You can't just cast them out. That was something that I always did. I showed my aunt love. You know, she passed away a couple years ago because she also battled cancer for 15 years. You understand?
Mm.
So so that I think with the drugs and death, it's all connected. Of course, we know that, and it even extends further beyond a person that actually takes drugs. You know what I mean? The person that's selling the drugs, they have to deal with the death too. You understand? Because they have to deal with the streets and how they move about in these streets. So drugs is death on all angles with it. You understand? Like, and people are aware. People are aware of it. People that sell the drugs or do the drugs, they're aware of it. And but the addiction is, like that's the tough side because so many families become destroyed. You understand? So many families become destroyed because of the addiction. Addiction becomes the only thing that matters. So it leaves everybody else kind of like lost. You understand? Especially if people can't fend for themselves, like young children or something. My family, we got a very close knit family, so you know, our family was always good. Nobody was left behind. You understand? But to see
Right.
anybody in the family battle addiction, it was just tough, and just like
Crazy.
that hurt. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, but it's a story that I know a lot of people have that's similar. Like it's not that's a part of living in, I guess, this society that we live in. You understand? Where drugs are actually put out here for people to use. You understand? Like when you really think about it, how you figure my aunt came up 80s, the 80s crack era or whatever. That was a crack era. So like that that was a whole different ball game from
Mhm.
anything that was seen. Like so, and that destroyed
Yes.
everything. It destroyed infrastructure. It destroyed families. You know what I mean? It destroyed generations. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it was like, because I remember as a little kid in the 80s going to the playground and seeing them little cats all over the place. The caps, different color caps. I remember picking up one and taking it home because I'm a little kid. I just like colorful things. I found, oh, look at this. It's cool. I didn't know no better or what it was. My mom said, hey, never touch that again. Never told me what it was. But as I got older, I'm like, oh, crack capsules, like it totally destroyed all the middle class. That crack era, especially in Philadelphia. You know, like when you
Oh,
look
I
at
already
old
know.
photos, you look at them photos of how Philadelphia used to be and look, and then you look at now, you like, wow, the crack era really was what did it. You know, and now they got people doing like heroin. We got heroin acts around our way now. Like they on that,
Oh,
and that's like
Badlands especially.
horrible. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean
Badlands is
Kensington,
really hard, but
Kens-
OMG.
Kensington area,
Oh
Kensington area.
my
It's
goodness.
like walking through the land of the dead, and it's a shame because it's like
Mm.
nobody helping these people. I'm like, if you drive through there, it's hundreds of people out there that's just stranded. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, get them out the streets. Why y'all? They're like, and they just let them be, and it's like, no, give them a place to stay, get them out the streets because what this is going to do, all that does is tear down that place. But I think that it's like, it's a part of the plan overall because Kensington is a very beautiful area. You know what I mean? As far as the how what you could do with it, you understand? So they're going to let it go run into the ground. It's gentrification at its fullest. Drugs is a big part of the plan inside of gentrification, I believe. Because that's why they let it run rampant like they do. It was never a war on drugs. They say it was, but it never was. Like it wasn't because if it was a war on drugs, drugs wouldn't even be able to get to the city. Like, you know what I mean? Like it would stop at the top tier. They let it come down. That's
Right.
saying shit
And
shit
they want to
rolls
lock you up
downhill.
anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and they
And you
destroy
know
families and
that?
they destroy generations.
Yes, it did. And I was living around Badlands for uh I went from West Oak Lane to Badlands
Mm-hmm.
because my ex-boyfriend, and
Okay.
he was on drugs, and I figured I'm that type of person. Oh, I can help you get off the drugs, because I feel like if I can mentally be obedient to myself and disciplined,
Right.
why can't nobody else? Like, I mean, I was wild and out there and
Mm-hmm.
mental issues, all kinds of stuff, and I mean, like, come on now, like, please, it is an excuse. You know right from wrong and stuff like that. So, you know, um, I just feel like help, and it started making me look sick. And
Mm-hmm.
he from Puerto Rico, and I'm you in the hood where I grew up at. So people probably, when you're zoned in on somebody, because
Mm-hmm.
kind of find out he was on Magic, he wrote a letter and said
Mm-hmm.
all of this. That's fine. Whatever. It's enough what he did to me. So whatever. But anywho, you know, um, it drains you. I mean, I was drained. Like I started looking like, I'm
Right.
not paying attention to who I grew up with. That might say, "Oh yeah, she on drugs." I care less about that. All I was focused on, like, because he was fine. But I'm like, dang, I really wanted to help him because he was a cool guy, except for this one flaw, like you were saying. Like some people are really good people, but they just got a
Right.
drug problem. And he was one of
Right.
those people. He grew up with, drawing. I even grew up. It's like, wow, I feel bad about um, selling drugs. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
hold up. I never sold to pregnant women, and I never sold to women, people that came with children. That I never did. And if they was too young, yeah, I just wasn't doing that. That. So I did have morals while I was doing it. You feel me?
Right.
And um, it just, I just started feeling, bad for him, and I'm like, dang, me not knowing I was, special, then I'm wondering why I'm feeling, what I'm feeling from these people. I'm feeling their sadness. I'm feeling,
Right.
like all of this stuff. And I'm like, dang, and then we got to look over our shoulder. Like, I'm like, man,
Mm-hmm.
the drug dealers are robbing the head guy, like,
Right.
to the point where they shooting in the air and off, just, acting like they really got robbed and they didn't, just to take some pack money. Like, it was crazy in the 80s, and you know, um, the drug houses to the point where they just started doing demolition. The neighborhoods look tacky, so I was around for all of that. And I felt bad, so I stopped. But the main reason why I stopped was because the boy that saw at my brother's funeral was trying to set me up. So
Okay.
I'm a chick, like, and I'm just moving real quiet. I like to move quiet because I move by myself. But I had some
I
young
hear you.
boys. Thank God for being pretty and having a gift for gab. The little young boys was looking out, so they was coming back telling me. So I could have done something, but I was like, nah. Ancestors was like, nope. Just his voice. I didn't know anything about ancestors then. I just knew, oh, this
I got
voice
you.
is,
I got
he ended up getting murdered anyway. He ended up getting murdered anyway. How dare you? You know what I mean? You probably had something to do with my brother's death. And then here you are trying to rob and set me up because I'm getting this money on the low. You know what I mean? Like what? So and this was around Knife and Somerset, right there. The barber shop was at in Germantown, like right
you.
there. So
You talking about the
that
one
was
on
kind of
Oak Island?
crazy. No, this is in North Philly, Germantown and Somerset.
Oh, you said Germantown. You talking about Germantown Ave?
Yeah, Germantown.
Okay.
He
Gotcha.
used to be right there, but that's right there up the street from Knife and Somerset, like right up
Okay.
the hill. 8th and Clearfield, all that. That's up that way. So that was kind of
Yeah.
crazy, but I thank God that my mother, didn't, get caught up in that. And if she did, she had a hell of a way of hiding it because I couldn't tell. But she wasn't, my mother was an alcoholic, alcoholics run in my family, functionable ones, good job, but love to drink. That's just what we do, and that's even deadly. There's just
Well, that's alcohol probably one of the worst drugs out there. Like,
I think so. Yes,
huh?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
mean
and
it's a legal
prescription
drink.
drugs.
It's a illegal drug that you can. Oh, they want you to buy it. They say, hey, you could drink it, drink responsibly, but it's alcohol. It's
No,
alcohol.
hey, I
You know
drink
what I
all day,
mean?
every day.
I'm saying it's alcohol. So it's like, and it's legal, and it's worse than like most things that'll get you, I guess, to another place in your mind. You know what I mean? Like weed. It's like you can smoke weed all day. You drink all day. You gonna
Mm,
hey, you gonna pay for it. Like somewhere,
no,
somewhere or the other.
no, no.
No,
Well,
I'm saying if you
yeah,
drink over
as
your
far as
limit,
health
I'm
wise,
saying over your
yeah,
limit, over your limit, over your limit.
mm,
Not necessarily
I
all
agree.
day, but over your limit. You
Right,
know what
right,
I
right.
mean? Because everybody got a limit.
But alcohol is dangerous too because I think I had alcohol poisoning a couple of times because
Anytime,
I would wake up with the shakes. I would wake up with the
yeah,
shakes, and it would take me like 2 days to bounce back. Like
wow,
literally, like
that's a lot.
I'm the type I
That's a
like
lot.
the mixed drinks. I like the mixed. Yeah, I like the mixed drink.
But anytime you get out, anytime you black out from alcohol, you had alcohol poisoning. When you got to wake up and you don't remember, every time you don't remember something or something in your mind gets shot, that's alcohol poisoning. You know what I mean? It's too much alcohol in your body every time.
Oh
So
well,
so
that's a lot of times.
a lot of people that drink had alcohol poisoning plenty times. You know what I'm saying? Plenty
Okay,
times.
yeah.
But that's why they. But I think that's one of the reasons that like it wipes people's like memories because it's like you poisoning your body. You really poisoning your body. Like it was made to be a poison to begin with. Somebody crazy enough decided to drink it and were like, hey, we're gonna sell it. But alcohol was never made to be a drink. Like, you know what I mean, for people. Like, it's crazy. It was
It was a
always meant to be
weapon.
a
It was
poison.
actually it was
Yeah,
a weapon. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
It
great,
definitely was
yo.
a weapon. That's one of now. That's a great point. Now, if you think about like the nat, if you think about the natives of this land,
Yes, I'm fourth
right?
generation Cherokee. Mhm.
Okay, I
I'm
got
fourth generation.
Blackfoot.
I swear to God.
I got Blackfoot. I do have some Navajo blood,
My
and
great
what
grandmother
happens
name is
is
Cinderella Theodosia Hedgebeth.
okay.
I'm a
I'm a, I'm
Hedgebeth.
a, I got. I'm gonna show you a picture of one of my family members. But
Me too. I'm gonna send you one. I'm gonna send you one.
alcohol,
I wish
alcohol,
I had one with you though. But sorry, go ahead.
alcohol was probably the worst thing that was introduced to the natives. You understand? That was,
Yes.
you know what I
Look,
mean? It was one of the
what I
worst
tell you, my
things
family we
because
love to drink. That's all we do is
yeah.
drink.
And now check this out. I was up in no, you good. I was up in northern Canada, up where the Eskimos live. You understand? They
What?
the Inuit
That's
province.
cute.
That's what it's called. The Inuit province. So I was up way up there, like Arctic Circle, huh? So the you meet a lot of people. We stopped in this one town. It was called Iqaluit. You could tell that was like where a lot of natives got pushed north. You understand? That's where Eskimos come from. People that got pushed north, like when this land really got opened up and colonized. You understand? So people got pushed south and pushed north. Mexicans, Eskimos, and then you had people that was grouped in the middle here, and a lot of colored, darker natives got stuck and grouped into the
Us,
slavery thing. You
us,
understand? Yeah. So
us. That's us.
yeah, right. So
We are the
so
natives.
with that, right? Of course, a lot. Yeah,
All
eighty-five
of us
percent
that
of
been born
African
here,
Americans. You know what I'm
over
saying?
here, born and raised,
Yeah.
and they
So
family
so
is we're natives.
yeah. So when I went to this little town,
Mhm.
it was this one guy. He was trying to sell like carvings and stuff, right? And you could see how the alcohol, like how it impacted that community. You understand? You could see how it impacted the community. It was like, wow, you know what I mean? Like to see how deep it was. And it's like that this was beyond fire water, you know, like all they put a lot of poison out here, you know, like it wasn't just alcohol, but it was like the the like bacteria, viruses and stuff, you know, like they still doing it today. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Genocide.
but
Genocide.
yeah, so the drugs play a key, because what do drugs
Mhm.
do? You know, they kind of taint your mind in a way, you
Depopulate.
know, like,
And it
yeah,
depopulates. It depopulates because
of
it end up
course, of
destroying
course,
you.
it's poison, you know, it's poison, and it's a lot of things that happen, you know, like they destroy generations easily, you know, they
And
destroy
celebrities.
generations,
Like
and they,
and
yeah,
celebrities.
everyone is affected. Nobody is left behind when it comes to drugs. That's why they started trying to do so much to lock it down, because it started hitting everything. You know, it was filtered and funneled down into the lower class communities, but then it started exploding. You understand? Going outward. You know, so as the drugs and stuff went outward to the suburbs, you know what I mean, where higher class folk
Oh, it ain't
live,
like that.
they didn't like it at all. So what happened was,
Mm-mm.
peep the scene. This is what happened, and this is what was happening in front of our eyes. Guess what? Drugs is a big part of this. So with the drugs being filtered out and pushed out, what happened was they started selling. You understand? They started selling real estate out there where the drugs started
Okay.
hitting their areas. You know, going to repopulate in a
Mm.
different area. But in the process, we got mega cities
Wow.
being built right now. You understand? We got mega cities being built now, where the lower
Right.
class folks that was in the cities not going to be able to afford to stay in the city no more. You're going to get
Right,
pushed
right,
out
right.
away
Yeah.
from the city, away from
Yeah, they've been
everything.
doing
You
that since the
understand?
90s.
Now, check this
Right.
out. So check this out. So if you lower class citizen, quote unquote, whatever it means, you know, we'll come down to the finances, but you know, like they imagine the 80s happening in suburban areas with lower class people. You understand? Can you imagine? Like being pushed out the city. See, the city is, you have access to everything. You understand? But if you can't afford to live in a city and you get pushed away, then how people going to really survive? You talking about really taking away generations? That's the way you really destroy a couple generations in one swoop. You know what I mean? My homie said in an interview, he said they Thanos and the kids. If you ever watch Marvel, when he do the thing, he said they Thanos and the kids. You know, like, and it's a real situation. You know, so you know that's why the knowledge and the education. You know, like not necessarily education from school or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot of knowledge out here. I'm not saying don't go to school or telling nobody that they don't get education from school, but I'm saying
Right, right, right,
the
right, right.
education and
But now I'll
knowledge
tell
is
you,
very important to pass on. You know, the knowledge and education that you have, you know, is very important to pass on, you know, to that next generation, you know, because they going to be up against a whole different ball game than we ever been up against, you know, like, and hopefully some of us could still stick around when
oh
when
yeah.
when when everything flips, because you know the energy, you know, the energy been flipped. We in a, like, this is called like a polar, like a polar reversal almost, you know. That's what we living in right now. Drugs was a catalyst, key catalyst. It was a key catalyst. It was a weapon, you know, like anything else, you know.
And that's why they making
Still a
people
weapon.
sick, giving them
Yeah.
pharmaceutical prescriptions and all that. Come on now, all you have to do is get that person this leaf and they'll
Right.
be fine. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
natural herbs. It even says it in the Bible, live and eat from the land. The hill
Right.
and eat from the land. So I mean, like, come on. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and then you got
Hmm.
Dr. Zabi. So and he's not the only herbal doctor that's out
No,
here,
not
hooking
at all.
people up.
It's
So
it's tons of them. It's tons of them,
yeah.
and guess what? It's a lot of them that we see every day, but people don't give them the time of day because they don't have a name for themselves or something. Like, it's like you could look up if somebody give you some knowledge, you could look up and research for yourself to see if it's true. You know, like if
Right,
somebody
right,
tell me
right.
something, I'm not just going to pawn it off and be like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, if it sounds something that's interesting or something that like pique my interest in any way, I'll confirm it. I'll confirm it, and then that's something I learned, like that day. So we gotta really take the knowledge thing serious too, like that gets us away from the drugs and death, and that helps keep our
Right,
people
right.
strong in these times, like, and when I say our people, I mean like soldiers is built from the heart, you know what I mean? Like we all built from the heart, like, and you gotta understand that everybody that look like us ain't us. You understand what I'm
Not
saying?
at all. I'm gonna share a video with you. I think I can. I don't know if I can or not. It was on Instagram, and this lady, she looked black. Like she looked like the lady off of Boomerang that was like with the. I'm gonna just say the perfume lady, the model lady, the perfume
Yeah.
lady. Remember her in Boomerang? And that model, the black
Yeah,
lady, she looked
Strong
like
J.
her little.
Ray Sean.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the lady looked like her. So all of a sudden, they just start peeling off of this lady, and she was a
Yeah.
cracker under it. I was like, what
Well,
the?
yeah,
Yo, it
but see,
blew
but
my
yeah,
mind.
but that ain't
It
what I
blew my
mean.
mind.
That ain't what I mean. That ain't what I meant when I said it. I'm talking about black people that look like us ain't like us.
Oh yeah,
You
I
understand?
know that
That's what I
part too. But
mean.
since
I
you
ain't talking
said
about
it,
people
the
that's
whole
like perpetrating.
I know, I know, I know. But while you was on the subject, I figured I would say
Yeah,
it so I won't
yeah,
forget.
they,
That's why.
yeah.
But
Darn, it's getting
we
dark
call them
now. But
Sambo.
yeah, they had those. They had
Sam,
um.
Sambo.
They had those black
Sambo.
face masks and stuff that they was doing, and white face masks. They the real life masks. Like you look like whoever you put the mask on. Like they like real life, like them Hollywood type. Like yeah. But that's a different story though. But I know. But listen, like
Can I say something? I know who you're talking
yeah,
about. You're talking about because the difference between a house nigga and a Sambo nigga. Okay, a Sambo nigga is the one that's gonna hunt the nigga down with the master and say get him, and catch you and kill you for uh the master. A house nigga, he on everybody's side. You know what I mean? Because he gonna tell us where they going and how they, and all that, and then he gonna tell them enough information, you know, what's going on out there with us, so that he can stay in the house. He gonna give them a little bit of information.
well,
Yeah, gotta give
well,
them.
no,
Can't
but
get
that ain't even what
a
I'm.
nigga be in the house.
Yeah,
I'm
that
talking about a
I
house
mean, yeah,
nigga.
I see what you're saying, but I ain't even saying that
So a
really
Sambo
because
nigga
I'm
is
saying
not
more
for
like
us.
I'm more like some people. Like I'm a good-hearted dude, like 100%, 100%. I'm a good heart. You know what I mean? I'm one of them people that do actually extend my love and everything to everybody. So it's like it's a lot of people that's not like that. I know a lot of people that's not like that. I do tend to pull in people that's like that though. I do tend to connect with a lot of people like that. But I know it's not many. As opposed to what the population is to the world, but it's more than we think. But people just got, you got to really go with, like, how you say, like, trust your ancestors, like because they're going to guide you to everybody you need to see and meet up with,
Yep.
like, so,
Come
like,
on.
that's, yeah. But, I know we moving off subject, like, but it's all connected though, man, because the drugs is what got us here now in these situations in this world, like especially in Philly and this city, like this city, like it's so ran down and they building it back up, but it's ran down and it's ran down because of the
Oh my
drugs.
goodness.
The drugs is what ran it down. Like that's what it did. It was
Yes.
nothing else but that. Like it was the drugs that ran it down. And
Destructive
it's like
people.
now, and guess, yo, when the last time you been to Philly?
Uh, 2 years ago, I think. Like
2 years ago?
2, 3 years, 2, 3 years ago.
Okay. Well, if you came to Philly now, you would
But I
your
wasn't in
jaw
the
would
hood
drop.
the last time. I was in Levittown. The last time I was in Levittown. But other than that, it was about
Oh, you
maybe
ain't come to
five,
Philly then.
6.
Oh yeah, so you
Well,
was in
Levittown.
Levittown. You didn't come to Philly.
Well, that's still Philly to me. It's all
No,
Philly to
that's
me.
not. That's not Philly. But listen, you come to Philly now, your jaw would drop. If you said you ain't been to Philly since then, your jaw would drop if you see what's going
Well,
on.
I was
Like,
there 5 years ago. I was there about 4 years, and I was in West O'Blaine. West O'Blaine
okay,
seems
yeah.
like it's down, like not a lot at all, but it feels, I don't know, it don't feel right.
Well, check this out. If you came to Philly right now, you would see what I'm talking about. Like, they building these stacked buildings where old abandoned buildings were. And these stacked buildings is like one floor, 3 bedroom, one floors. Like, it's 3 floors, and it's like 3 bedrooms each floor, right? That's what they building out here now. The rent on average for those things is like damn near 1,300 a month. You know what I mean? And I'm like, a lot of them is built for college kids because you know they building it so that it'd be like 3 roommates paying split rent. You know, they not really for families. They pushing people out, and what that does is raise the property value. The more of those houses they put up, so what that does, it raise the property tax. Right now in North Philly, around the prison, you know, the prison in Girard in North Philly, the one Al Capone used to be in. It's a historical prison. They used to have the tours and stuff there, but
I don't know.
it's they got real estate taxes like $9,800 a year. You know what I mean? It's like you paying 10 just for the tax on your house. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like they really pushing people. People can't afford that stuff. You know what I mean? Like the average person that work the average job can't afford, not going to be able to afford to stay in Philly in 20 years from now. That's all I'm saying. Like, you know, everybody gonna get pushed out
That's
to the
how they want
counties.
it. That's how they want it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because they taking the cities back. You should see, like, if you looked at the city, you'd be like, man, they really trying to push everybody lower
Well, they
class
was in the
out,
cities at first.
out.
They were in the cities at first, and then they put us, you know,
Yeah,
far
yeah,
off. Now they're coming back to
yeah.
the front.
Right.
Powers
It's,
exchanging back
yeah.
to where, it's rewinding.
It's
That's how I
it's
look
a
at it.
yeah, but it's what it is like you they just
And
trying
the
to push
drugs keep them
everybody.
occupied. Yeah, the
Oh, the
drugs keep
drugs,
them from.
the drugs don't stop.
Um,
The drugs not stopping. The drugs not stopping. It's not. It can
and then you
stop
know what's
though.
so sad?
It can stop
What?
though. Like it really
Yes,
can. The
it
drugs can stop. They can. Like
can.
it's not
It feeds the
hard. Like, you know what I
dopamine
mean?
too.
Huh?
You got to have it feeds the dopamine. You got to have discipline. You got to really, want to not, like for cigarettes. And it depends on the fair guy. Also, that's my situation. Like with the cigarettes, the ancestors was like, "Yo, they killing you with these cigarettes." And I got shot in my neck, and I'm sitting there smoking like ain't nothing wrong with me. Like I ain't never got shot in my shit.
Right.
And they let me know, like, look, you need to stop, or So I said to myself, Dad, I'm 47. I done had all my fun, so I shouldn't have a problem with giving it up. So
Right.
I gave it up, and the only way I was able to give it up was to have a fast. I had to fast to God in
Mhm.
order for me not to smoke, the cigarettes. And from time to time, I get an urge for it, but it feeds the dopamine. It depends on how much you care about yourself. No matter what kind of
Oh yeah,
high I
yeah.
got high off of, which was nothing
Right.
heavy. When it came to my health, I stopped. I completely stopped until I felt like I was better, and then that's when I go back and smoke my weed or drink my alcohol. You
Right.
know what I mean? And back
Right.
then, I used to smoke my wet, embalming fluid, pop pills. But I ain't did nothing really heavy because I have an addictive mentality. I'm a Leo, and Leos have addicted. We get addicted to things.
Yeah.
So
But
I
you know what?
already know
You know
that
what?
I can't be going around just trying shit the fuck out. Like I can't do that.
Human,
I'm not, because if
human,
I like it, I'm gonna keep wanting to
yeah. Human beings are creatures of habit. Period. Though human beings are creatures of habit. That's why everything is the way it is too. You know, like we creatures of habit. Like things happen, we do habitual things. You know what I mean? Like it's not too many
do. And
things that you do in a day that you didn't do yesterday or the day before. You understand what I'm saying? Like we creatures of
right,
habit.
right,
So
right.
that's why the drugs was it was so it was so vicious because of the addictive capabilities or whatever of it. So it's like they present it out there like it's in all form. Cigarettes is like, but cigarette a drug like you was talking about. It's man, listen, cigarettes. I used to smoke cigarettes. I and like I used to go through like a pack a day, like, and if I drank,
Oh wow.
then I might get 2 packs in,
Oh, that's
and it was like, yeah, because
what?
like horrible, 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 and it wasn't nothing. I tried to quit a couple times, but it wasn't until they started tasting nasty to me. Like I really couldn't take it. You know what I mean? I really couldn't take the cigarette. It was like I was trying to smoke a cigarette, and I'm like, oh, and I started throwing them away. Like after a couple puffs, then I was like, I think it's about that time. And I started feeling uneasy. So it was like my body actually just told me to stop. You know what I mean? Like my body was like, yo, cut it. But all the times that I tried to quit and I was like, oh, I'm about to quit these things, I never did. So sometimes, like you said, it's all when you're ready. It's really about when you're ready with something like that, like cigarettes
Yeah,
or
yes,
anything. Like,
yeah.
like it's when you are
And it's how
ready.
much
Like,
you care
cause
about yourself.
yeah, yeah. But sometimes it take more than caring. Sometimes it take just you being fed up, kind of like too. Like like
And I
I
was.
yeah, I was fed up with cigarettes. I was like, man, they stink. I
Me
know
too.
they stink. I'm like, I'm smelling
Yes.
my
Oh
hands. I'm
my
like, it's still on
God.
my hands. I was like, I'm good. I'm good.
Mhm.
And they started tasting nasty to me. Like they just really started tasting nasty. I was like,
Yes.
that buzz wasn't worth
Yes.
the taste. You know what I mean? That's it. Your body. Your body tell you things. So it's. But yeah, but the drugs, like drugs hit home for everybody. I think like all types of drugs. Like, all of them. Like pharmaceutical is one of the worst too, man, because they just experiment on people. They just experiment on people. They just be like, hey, we're gonna put this. Excuse me, we're gonna put this out here. It got 38 side effects, but it only hit a couple people, maybe 1 out of 10 people. You know what I mean? Next thing you know,
I
a
want
hundred thousand
let's
people
say
got
hello to
100,000 people. 100,000 people
wait,
got that
let's say
prescription,
line.
and
I want
then
to say
ten
hello to
thousand people all
investing
messed up.
out of the wait,
Huh?
wait, Michael, look.
Yes.
Investing out of the blue. Say hello, fam. And then we got wait a minute, I can't see the name. The Bible gives life. She said his sister, and then she said it's hard for her to she glad she gave it up too.
That's what's
the
up. That's what's up.
yeah.
That's what's
I
up.
forgot. I forgot that you got to pay attention to the side with the
I
Can you
don't
see the
have it on my
comments on
end.
your
No, I don't have it on my end.
what?
No.
Oh, so that's why. So I got to be on guard for that. Okay. So I
Yeah.
apologize. I think they left out or whatever, but
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But back to the drug thing. You know what I've also I've realized too is a lot of veterans came home and they started
Yeah.
doing drugs. I'm like, what the hell? Like the prescription drugs and drugs. Like, what is going
Yeah.
on
Well.
here? And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden they working in the deli at the store. Because a lot of
I
the men that work in the delis were in the service back in the day. You know,
Okay.
like these guys go over there and they see so much, like, and they can't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So they got to keep this bond no matter what. You know, and it
Well,
drives them
you keep it to a
crazy.
certain. To a certain extent. I just got out in January after 12 years, and I did 4 tours. I did 4 tours. I was in
Oh,
Afghanistan
okay.
twice. I was in Iraq. I was in Kuwait,
Oh,
UAE. I
okay.
was in. I
Oh,
was in
okay,
like
Mike.
7 different countries. So it was like, yeah, I know, and I have a couple people that like. You hear stories of a lot of things with veterans. I mean, suicide is crazy with veterans. And I'm sure like a lot of the
Yeah.
suicides, like drugs have to be involved too for them to actually do take it there. Like, but drugs, yeah, like military service members, police officers, lawyers, judges, governors, senators, none of them are immune to being hooked on anything. You know what I mean? Because we all human beings. So it's like you know, even though people are supposed to be held at a higher standard, you know, quote unquote, like people are people. You know, people are people, and like nobody is immune to being becoming addicted to something. Like, you know what I mean? All it takes is for somebody to try it. You know, like, and that's what happens. That's what happens. I see it happen all the time. You know, I've seen it happen with service members. I've seen it happen with police officers. You know, I've seen it happen. You know, like seen it happen with teachers. You understand? Like every walk of life. You know, like it's people that I grew up with that I never thought I'd see turned out right now. You know, I just had to
Well,
tell a
do you
young
know?
boy,
Right. Do you know the
no,
life? I mean, the Bible gives life because this individual said, "I'm a former military. Me and my wife." Whoa, wow, him and the wife. Okay, so it's a guy, and he said they had a lot of bad issues in the barracks in the
Briggs. He said
military.
Briggs.
And
He said Briggs.
oh, Briggs. That's what I thought I said.
He
What
said
did I say?
Briggs. I thought you said barracks.
Oh, did
I
I?
don't know.
I probably did.
I'm saying it. I'm saying,
So
look, check this out. They, you know, it's a lot of things that go on in the military. You know, like they you'll see it on the news. You'll see it on, you know, you see stories on it. It's a lot of things that you see stories on. But you know, to me, like, you know, I just had to stop. You know what I mean? Because like my heart wasn't there. You know, like I seen the destruction. Like, you know, I seen the destruction like firsthand, and I'm like that's not humane. That's like this is crazy. I said like that's genocide. Like war to me is genocide. Like war is genocide. Like you understand what I'm saying? Like people like, hey, you know, you got how bad the issues are in the Briggs. Yeah. But yeah, they
oh,
hide.
you
I
can see
mean,
the
it's
comments.
genocide. All that is genocide. You know, like,
Mhm.
and guess what? It's 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 like they use so much of their brain power on on weapons that destroy shit. You know, instead, like imagine if we went the other way with it. You know what I mean? They building big ass warships. Imagine if they build a big
Oh
ass
yeah.
fucking. Imagine if they build a big ass build like a big ass like something the size of a warship that created like its own produce or something. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like just the thought of the technology towards weaponizing things, and then you got your thought that's totally goes against nature. You know what I mean? Like imagine if you just
That's
flipped it. You know what I
crazy,
mean? Imagine if you just flipped the
man.
knowledge. You know, like, but that's another story. But you know, like, man, like the military, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, it's a lot. So
I wanted
I
to
don't
go in
know.
there, and when I went to Fort Dix, I was in high school, and I was in this program, Sea Explorers. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, oh, I'm a tomboy. I'm like rough with it. Like I'm
Mhm.
still rough, but not like I used to be. I'm like, come on now, I'm fragile now.
Right.
But uh, I went there, and the guy was like hollering in their face and like started spitting while he was talking. I said, "Oh hell no," because I knew me back then. I was wild. Like I would have hit him
I
quick,
hear you.
and you don't
It's
want to
all
go
a
to
mental
jail.
game, though.
You don't want to go to jail in there. So and then they was picking stuff in the middle of the ground. Like I'm like, oh no, I'm not for this. My mother,
Right.
I come from a strict household, and then to come from a strict household like that and think I'm gonna just go into this, no, I ain't gonna be able to do that. And I was like, nope, and I didn't go, and I'm glad I didn't, because kind of find out they tell you one thing and it be something totally different. But a lot of men
Yeah.
in my family I come from a military police background, from
Yeah.
family,
Me too.
you know.
Me too. Me too. And, and you know, that type of family, more than likely, you're gonna have somebody addicted to drugs because
Oh yeah,
all
oh
that
yeah,
type
oh
of
yeah.
civil the thing
Oh yeah. My
civil
family, they
service
got it in.
look, civil service, this is the thing about civil service, like being a cop or military, that's all like civil service, you understand? So that demands a lot of your time. Like that shift work, it's a lot of your time, and it takes away that time to be around the family you know, structure you know, to actually build the family. Like, you know what I mean? There's no guidance because the important pieces of the family are always working, or working this shift or working
Right.
this shift, man. Um, like you could be literally in a house. Me and my little brother, he was always in the house by himself. I'm we broke
What?
a lot of shit in the
Yeah.
house. I'm glad we ain't get killed in the house. You understand?
Look,
Because we
hey.
you know, like I'm saying, because our parents was always at work. You know what I mean? Like it
I'm gonna
was.
get some
So
more.
I see how a lot of kids dip and dab and stuff, especially if certain families, you know, they got
Uh-huh.
situations going on. Drugs get left somewhere, or somebody just got like peer pressure. You know what I mean? Like the peer
Right.
pressure. Like,
Right.
you know, people. You know, a lot of kids are naive. You know, and that's where a lot of the stuff starts. You know, so it's like, yeah, and you know the shift work. So it's, I can see how, you know, the civil service has a part because of the stress too. A lot of people don't know how to come home with the stress. You know, like that's another thing. So it's like a lot of things go on and change. You know, like the family structure is thrown off.
Right.
You know, like,
Sorry, I had to give me some
but
more
with a lot
tea.
of things,
I had to give me some more
with a lot of
tea.
things. Yeah, see, that's what's up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I I really, you know, like just this was a nice, long, deep conversation. Um, like
I think
even
we got
sitting
like
here
what, 12
now,
more minutes?
12 what?
I think we had 12 more minutes and then it'd be an hour
Oh,
video.
oh, okay. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Okay, right. No, no. But I wanted to share with the world on how many black people from last year and 2000 and this year and last year, 6 months,
Hmm.
first of all, in the beginning of the pandemic, 64% of black people died from overdose, and 40%, you know, the aliens, the crackers. And, you know, since
Well,
1999, wait a minute, since 1999, 841,000 people died, you know, worldwide, but just the United States alone was 70,330 people, you know, in the United States. And that's from prescription drugs, opiates, and uh, illicit
hmm,
drugs.
right
So, I mean,
now,
it's a lot of people from some drugs. Like,
yeah. Well,
damn,
you know, I would like to.
more bodies.
I like to blame this thing that we talking on right now for most of that right now. Anyway, because you know, like a lot of these drugs that people dying off of are like trendy drugs. You understand? They're trendy. Like,
What you mean? Because I've been isolated, so put me deep. Because I don't watch the news. People tell me because
well,
you know, I know it's a
it's
program.
not.
They give me
Well,
anxiety.
you don't really. Yeah, but you don't really need the news to it. Like you could just listen to the music of today and hear about all the drugs they talking about
I
is
don't
what all the
listen to the
people dying
music.
off of.
I
Yeah,
don't
I mean
listen
that's
to the
cool.
music.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
no
but that's
idea.
yeah. So that's what's happening now. That's what's happening.
When I watched the
That's what's
awards, I
happening.
was like, "Who are these people?"
Yeah, I'm not blaming. I'm not blaming artists or anything. But it's
Okay.
trendy.
I
You know what I mean? A lot of these drugs that people dying off is a trendy thing. It's like it's cool to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but how it always was, somebody gonna
followers.
make you feel. Yeah, but it's somebody gonna make you feel like you cool. You know what I mean? Like when they influencing you to do something, you know. But that's a lot of, a lot of people, like you said. Yeah, it's a lot of followers, like. But I blame the parents for the most part. I blame the parents
Everybody at
because the
fault.
parents.
Everybody. The
Yeah,
neighbor.
yeah,
Everybody.
yeah. I blame the parents. You
Everybody's
know
at
what I
fault.
mean? But
But a lot of
like I
times
said,
things come from the family, like you said earlier. Things come from
yeah, that too.
like it's so
Yeah,
much stuff
yeah,
on it.
yeah.
That's why I had this channel.
Drugs,
Like I have so
drugs is
much
heavy.
stuff that I went through in my life, and I want to share it because I know I'm not the only one that went through it. I know I'm not the only
Right.
one that had a cousin that My own cousin tried to get me hooked up on drugs. My first time I
Wow.
was 14 years old. I went over her house and she was like, "Oh, you want to be grown? Then you gonna do what we do." So she was nice enough and gave me a joint to smoke by myself. I could smoke my own little joint. I was like, "Bet I'm loving this shit." Like, damn. So all right. So her friend was smoking. Kind of found out turbos. So we all sharing the same ashtray. So my first time smoking, I had the giggles and I fell out the chair. So I got them laughing, we all laughing. So I got back in the chair and I went to grab, thinking it's my joint, took a puff, and I'm like, ooh, my mouth numb. And she instantly freaked out. She got scared. We had to go and everything. But I didn't tell my mother, but I wished I would have, because when I got older and I ran away from home and I started living with my cousin, she I was like 17 years old, and she took me to her brother's friend's house, and she hang with them too. Brother friends, but my cousin don't really hang with them niggas all the fuck like that. He live in Florida. He doing good things, a cop and all of that. These niggas is addicts and shit. You know what I mean? But he showed respect when he come in town. He don't look down at them. But she hung around with them. They all getting high. She's smoking turbos and snorting and doing all that. Anyway, so we was drinking so much, and I didn't really have no money. I didn't. My family took care of me. I didn't have to do anything. I was just messing with guys because I wanted to mess with a guy, not because I had to try to get anything up out of them. You know what I mean? I was already straight. So I was smoking her cigarettes. So we kept. They kept going to the store getting cigarettes. So they like, okay, we're more intoxicated now. We're gonna this is the last run for the cigarettes, plus the store about to close. So I'm thinking that this cigarette that they passing around is because everybody just, don't we're not gonna be able to go get any. You know what I'm saying? And the person with the car
Right.
left. So you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking that's why we sharing the cigarette. Kind of find out these motherfuckers stuff fucking coke in the motherfucking cigarette. I ain't never in my life. I'm 17 from a strict home, barely can come outside. Okay. I don't know nothing about no goddamn putting no shit in no cigarette. And I'm like, damn, I'm like all of a sudden I passed out. I was like, Dad, no, I was puffing it. And she's like, girl, you taking forever. And then I passed that. And I'm like, well shit, you act like it's a joint, it's a damn cigarette. You know what I mean? She was like, no, it's not. And all I know is I passed out. I woke up with the guy standing over top of me trying to fuck me. And I woke up and I, ran in the bathroom, fucking slipped out and shit, called my dude, he ready to come in there shooting. It was so, it would have been, it could have got real ugly if I would have let him do whatever it was that he wanted to do, but she would have died that day because he's ready to kill her. He took us all home, her too. And he was mad. And I'm like, damn, this is my older cousin. Like, why would you do that to me? And then I guess she thought I was going to be like strung out on it. And I think God that, I never was. You know what I mean? But
Right.
what if I was?
Right.
What if that would have happened to me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What if I would have loved it, or some little bullshit like that? Then I would have been a fucking crackhead.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a bitch like me, I would have killed her ass. I'm just saying that was the past. But she would have got hurt. Dead
No, I
ass.
hear you.
I wouldn't have killed her, but I would have fucked her ass up. She would have got fucked up. Oh, best believe that.
I'm sure. I'm
I'm
sure.
like, damn, this is my cousin. This is my
Right.
cousin. Oh yeah, she swung on me when I was there the last time, and I took her and flung her ass right down the steps like she was a dog. Like, don't swing on me. Fuck out of here, bitch.
Yeah.
Anyway, that made me hype. Yeah, this I got a lot of videos coming up about the things she did to me. You might want to check out the previous one, y'all. Cause that's a story about how she just sent me off with this strange guy on drugs and shit. You know what I mean? Wanting to see another guy. She even asked drugs can make people do crazy things because
Yeah.
I was 17
Yeah.
and she gonna ask me to let her boyfriend eat my stuff for $250 a pound, well, a quarter pound of weed. And I said no. Like, what, bitch? Where's the money? First of all, even though I wasn't into that, but why would
Yeah.
you involve me in your nastiness?
Yeah.
Because she was
And your stuff. Right.
on drugs, and they're gonna try to use me to prostitute me, but it didn't work that way. And I think that's probably why she hit me too. She fall for it. I got so many stories about this little witch, you know. But
Well,
these drugs got
that's
people doing some
that's
nasty,
messed up.
things.
And that's drugs. Them drugs. Anything for that high. You know what I mean? That's how it be. Like and I see it, and like I said, I grew up with a lot of people that is I grew up with a lot of people that I seen actually fall victim, like really fall victim to hard drugs. Like you really went there, and it's like it's sad, but then I'd be like, what can I say? I can't. It's nothing I could do for you, like I can't.
Cause they gotta want to
It's not,
stop. First of all, they
yeah,
gotta want to
yeah.
stop.
It's like, yeah, exactly. That's it. I'm like,
All you can
the
do is
only person that
support
could do
them.
something for you right now is you. Like, there's nothing that could be done except for your decisions, So it's like it's messed up because the people since they kids and stuff, and you be like, damn, man, it's hard to see people. It is hard to see people like that, but it's just like it's nothing you could do for anybody. Like you said, they gotta do for self. And like hopefully, that happens, with a lot of people. But for a lot of people, unfortunately, it's not gonna happen, and that is not even to be that's just being realistic, you know, like it's crazy. But
I had an
that's why
uncle,
I
and
gotta take care of the
like
kids. Gotta take care of the
that part,
kids. Like
that part,
seriously. Gotta take care of the kids.
real
Like
good.
to me, that's what's
Right.
important to me. Like I'm worried about the kids. I'm like everybody that's an adult, like I worry about you to an extent. Don't bother me much, but I'm
Right.
worried about the kids. You know what I mean? Like seriously, I'm worried about the
Right.
kids. Like, cause they the ones that's going to be taking over. Like, and they the ones that need to have the healthiest of minds. Like so it's like I do
Right.
anything for the kids, man. Like you know what I mean? Like that's me, man. I like I'm a protector. You know what I mean? Like I might not be like the funnest person to be around, but I'm a protector. That's it. So, but
I had an uncle on my father's after my father got murdered. I assumed that, he would kick in and take care of us and be there for us and stuff like that, but that wasn't the case. He ended up strung the hell out on drugs. And I would when I got old enough, and got away from home because I'm a runaway, I was around the area that my uncle was around. And I would chase him down and be crying like, please get off of the drugs, please, I love you, da, 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 da. And he would never get off drugs. But now it's been 20 something years and he's been clean. And I'm so proud of him. He even beat
that's
prostate
what's up.
cancer.
That's what's up. Oh, good. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of him. We don't really talk because I had to rough him up a little bit. And, he got
Mm-hmm.
scared of me.
No.
Like, she act like her
And
dad,
that's the
this bitch
thing.
crazy.
That's the thing. Like
So,
that's the thing. Like my aunt did get clean, and she was battling it, but she was battling cancer at the same time. So it was like,
mm,
beautiful soul, man. Like like I said, that's my close. I was close to her. Like she when she went to Overbrook, she used to babysit me. She was in high school when she used to babysit me
Overbrook.
when I was a kid. So everybody
Okay.
used to think I was her son. Like everybody thought I was her child. Like we look just
Oh,
alike and
okay.
everything too. So but it's like damn, like like she was a beautiful person, man. Like and
It's
no
always
matter
like that.
and no matter how much anybody didn't like her or how she was or whatever, I gave my aunt hugs and kisses every time I seen her. You know what I mean? Like it didn't matter. Like I don't care if you was out in the streets for months. If I just seen you, I'm giving you hugs and kisses. You know what I mean? Because she needed that love. You know what I mean?
Right.
It helped her get clean.
That's great.
Like you know what I mean? It helped her. So
Yeah. And the sad
yeah, man.
and it's the sad I love it when they get themselves together though. I really do.
Mhm.
I love it, and it's sad that some people still throw it in their face. But I try not to
Right.
even,
Yeah, I hate that.
unless you
I
come
hate
for
that.
me. Come for me,
But
then yeah, that's a different story.
yeah,
But other than that,
yeah.
I don't think that. Why would you bring that
No,
up? Why would
no,
you? It
no.
don't
Don't
matter. They look
never.
like family.
No. Yeah, you can't throw nothing in people's like. I don't believe in throwing nothing in people's face. Like like I'm
That
guilty
ain't
of
cool
doing
because it could
some
be you.
things, like,
It
but
could
not
be
on that
you.
level. Not on that
Right.
level.
It could be
Like,
you.
not on like if you and if people that get addicted, they really be addicted. And I'd be like, man, I didn't watch her trying to fight. Like wrapped up. on the couch, fighting it, like fighting the urge to, because it's painful too. Like when your body becomes dependent, your body actually hurts,
Yeah.
you know.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's like
My
I'm like,
man, my
damn.
ex
So I'm
man
watching
was
her,
like that.
and she tried so hard, like so many times, and when she finally did, like she
Mhm.
finally did really kick it, I was like, damn, it was a long road, but you did it, like,
Right.
she passed away, but I know she passed away happy,
Right. And
everybody, the
she,
family,
right.
our family,
Before
our
she
family
left.
was getting tighter. Our family was getting tighter, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So it was like, but my grandmother, she couldn't take it. My grandmother actually passed away a year later, and I'm like,
What?
my
Broken
grandmother,
heart.
yeah, broken heart, heartbreak.
Broken heart.
My grandmother, my grandmother passed away from heartbreak. Her baby girl went before her. It was
Mhm.
crazy because when my aunt passed away, I went to the house, and my grandmother, she was just calm. You know what I mean? And she was like, Mike, you know, I just got done talking to her. I went in the room. I think she was making her something to eat or something. Like she's like, I went down or something, or getting something where she walked away from the room, and then I think my aunt Kim told her that I think she told my grandmother, she was like, Mom, I think today is the day. That's, you know what I mean. So my grandmother,
What?
she went to do something, and when she came back, she was like, when I came back, Michael, she was gone, and I was like, damn. So it's like,
Wow. So wait a
so it's
minute.
like,
So that might be true that people know when they're about to die.
well, a lot of people do. Very good friend of mine's,
What?
a very good friend of mine's, his grandfather knew and told him. He was like, "This is, I'm about to, I'm about to check out." He told him, he was there with him.
Damn.
He was there with him when it happened, because your mind knows, your body,
I
your
guess it's a
mind
feeling
knows,
you never had before. I
Right,
don't
right.
know.
So I
Wow.
believe that wholeheartedly, because she did tell my grandmother that, and then my grandmother said she went out to do something. They was just talking. She said she went to do something and came back, and she was like, she was gone, and she was like, Mike. So we're all. She said I wa She said I wash her body. She said I wash her body up for her, and for the
Mm.
ambulance, before she called it. My
Yeah, yeah,
grandmother
yeah.
bathed her
That's nice. That's nice.
before. You
Yeah,
know, she bathed her before the
yeah.
ambulance came, and it was like, that was. And it was like,
Old
my
school.
grandmother.
Old school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it's a respect thing,
Old school.
And
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So it's like, and my grandmother passed a year later. I was in Afghanistan. I was in Afghanistan when I got that call, and I was like, you know, it was hard because I had to tell my son. You know what I
Mm.
mean? My son, he couldn't take it. He used to always be around my
How
aunt
was
and my
he?
grandmother. You know what I mean? At the
How old
time,
was he?
shoot, he was 8 at the time,
Oh,
and
man.
he just
Oh,
dealt
I
with my
know he
aunt.
went off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was tough. That was the toughest thing for me to do. I said it was tougher than getting rockets shot at me. You know what I mean? Like seriously, it was tougher than that.
Yeah.
Um, so it was like, man, it was like, and the drugs. I know the drugs play a big part in like how my family structure was. Like my family structure was way different than it could have been because of that. You know what I mean? Like from that side of the family, it was like it was weird. It was like, I was like, I'm showing my aunt more love than her brothers is. Like I understand their gripes and everything, but come on, like she was a beautiful person. She wasn't a bad person at all. She did things because of them drugs, like, but she was not a bad person. Like, so that's where I'm at with the drugs, like how I see it, like because that's what directly affected me. You know what I mean? Like growing up as a child. So yeah, it was hard though, man. It was like seeing that. That was tough story. I know we over an hour now.
Yeah, I
But
know.
yeah,
Well, you know,
yeah, that
sometimes
was touching.
when you give me good information and people are, when it can help somebody, I don't care about, you know, a time,
Right,
you
right,
know.
right, right,
That's,
right, right.
that's why I be looking at them churches like you fake. Because in the end of the day, ain't no stop because you gotta, no, 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 no. I don't believe in
Yeah.
that. You know, let it roll to it roll, you know. So I didn't said everything I said on my notes or whatever. I know before we in the video, I'm going to play a video for, you know, you can stay in it if you want and watch it, but it's like a couple minutes of Richard Pryor. Because, you know, for him to be doing drugs, this nigga done set his hair on fire. He done had 7 wives. He got, you
Man,
know,
check this
like,
out.
damn.
That man, listen, Richard Pryor. I watch a movie with him in it like every week. I ain't gonna lie. Stir Crazy, him and Gene Wilder. You ever see that?
Oh, okay. And Gene Wilder?
That's Gene Wilder.
Oh, Gene Wilder. No, I don't. I'm not good
Yeah.
with names. I growing up, I
Okay.
seen all his movies.
Yeah. Well, Gene
Growing up.
Wilder was the guy who played Willy Wonka. They was on See No
I
Evil, Hear No Evil too. When Richard Pryor was blind, Gene Wilder was deaf. No,
Yeah, I can't picture his face
check
though.
him out.
I can't picture the face, but I know you talking about. I watched all their movies. Just yeah.
Yeah, Lady in the Red. Gene Wilder was on Lady in the Red. He was Willy Wonka. You remember Willy Wonka
Oh, okay. Well,
back in
then
the
I
day?
can Well, wait a minute. Hold up. I can go in here and get the video. Let me see.
Yeah,
Richard Pryor. Um, because I
but
said,
yeah,
okay, I'm gonna get a video. It's not
that's
much. It's
funny.
just them talking about. You said what?
I said that yo, I be watching his movies, man. He's so hilarious, especially when he was younger. Like, not that he lost his
Yes,
humor when he got older, but he was hilarious.
I think so. He made us laugh, and then you had Eddie Murphy that came out. You know, um,
Yeah.
right after him. But I figured out in the
Hmm.
video, I should have just did a clip of him saying something funny. I wasn't thinking,
Uh,
you know,
it's all
but
good.
I figured I'd play it at the end of the video. But I
Uh,
really, really enjoyed having you here, and I must invite you
I
again.
enjoyed it.
Do you want to tell the my followers about tell the fam about your YouTube channel for your production? Want to tell us a little bit about
Oh,
that before
okay.
we go?
Oh yeah, yeah. I could tell y'all a little something. Well. Y'all know I'm Michael Bay, but my alter ego is an acronym GUS. A lot of people call me Gus, but it means Grammar Under Surveillance. That's my artist name. Joint Task Productions is my label. So I write music. I'm also a producer. I produce beats and I also engineer. So I've been doing that for quite some time. If you go to my YouTube channel, is GUS Grammar Under Surveillance. I got tons of music up there. With different artists and stuff. So it's good. It's good. You should tune in. You won't be disappointed. Like, we don't, we speak knowledge, in a lot of our music, so that's what type of artist we are.
We're gonna do an interview, and we're gonna do. I want to bring you back to the show, and I'm actually gonna get the your information. Well, I already have it, but whatever additional
Right,
information you want to give me, other
right.
than two platforms you sent me to, I can put your information below and have them.
Okay.
Hopefully, they'll click on that, from there. So I don't have a problem
Yeah,
with that.
that's
So I'm
cool.
gonna go into here. Do you want to dedicate anything to anything or say anything? Any last comments before I come up with the solution? Before I say the
Uh,
solution, and then we can close out.
oh, no, 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 I'm good. I just appreciate you inviting me on your platform. I
Oh,
really
thank you
do,
for
and I
coming.
appreciate the fans that tuned in.
Well, hopefully more tune in. If not, I just got to keep the show going. I can't stop. Hopefully,
Hey,
when I get
yeah,
where
that's
get a
what.
little bit more, maybe they'll come back and watch the video. You never know.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Hey,
I feel like I'm sorry.
No, I'm listening.
Um, I just feel like the solution is just basically, once again, um, when you're having problems and you need someone to talk to and stuff like that, and you feel like you're going to make a dumb move, because you know you're going to make a dumb move. Because I'd have made moves
Right.
and be like, I know this is a dumb move, but what the hell? I'm going to
Mhm.
do it anyway. So, just
Yeah.
reach out to somebody. Somebody's molesting you and touching you, report it. Hell, I'm loving the movies, the videos I'm coming across on YouTube, where a lot of these young girls are now recording family members molesting them and things like that. So,
Mhm.
I want to encourage you to, speak up if something's going on, because that's where a lot of the drug problems come from. And then they try to make
Right.
it seem like the
Right. The
child's
trauma.
crazy, and then that child
Trauma.
start believing
Trauma.
that the child start believing that he or she is crazy, and they think
Right.
because it's a boy he lying because he's a boy, but no, there's niggas out here raping niggas. Trust me, I've been pooping niggas in the ass for over 20 years, so these niggas is definitely out here liking these boys. Okay, they've been liking them. They just out
Yeah.
with it now.
See what happened? You
But
see
the
what's going
solution
on with
is,
all them priests? All
no,
them
what's going
Catholic
on? I
priests?
watch the news, but
No, this
what's
been
going
out.
on?
The Catholic priests that all was getting all caught up in the joint molesting little boys. Like that was out years for years.
Well, they
For years. Huh?
it's always a priest. It's always a priest touching. It's always a priest touching somebody.
Right. But
I'm just saying, I've been seeing this hearing this since I was a little girl. But I just want to encourage you people to just report it, say something on your mind. It's nothing wrong with getting counseling. These people don't tell you what to do. They let you resolve your own issues. And I know, because I went to therapy, and honestly, it didn't really do nothing to me, because I'm do anything for me, because I'm like, I need help resolving the situation, not help think about it. Like, it just wasn't. Or maybe it could have been that she just really didn't care. Welfare was paying for it. I guess she said, "What the hell?" They just, all they do is just sit there and listen. And they recommend certain little things. I don't know. They wasn't enough help for me. But talk to somebody. There's nothing wrong. You don't. I just say a counselor, because a counselor by law, they're not supposed to repeat your business. When you go talk
no,
to
they're
your
not.
homegirl, everybody in the neighborhood probably gonna know your business. A counselor, they just get paid to be quiet. Don't nobody know unless they get
Yeah,
subpoenaed
pretty
by the
much.
courts. Other than that, nobody's supposed to know your business. But when you tell your homie or your homegirl, everybody knows your business. You know, people that you don't
Right.
want to know. So to avoid from putting yourself in that situation, just do that. That's what I would do. And I want you to say something so I can sue your ass. So, but anywho, I thank you all for coming. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and stay safe. Tune in for the video. I'm about to play the video right now. And again, I want to thank Michael for,
Thank you for having me.
and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I really am. And we must do it again. Oh,
Indeed, definitely. Definitely.
okay. Oh, hmm, I think I put the wrong. Oh, hold up. Sorry, I'm getting used to this, y'all. Sorry. Let's see, I gotta get it from the file this time. Oh, I didn't. Did I save it? I'm trying to get the file. I don't know how to. Oh man, I don't know how to get the file, y'all. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, I might edit it and then just add it, but I
That's
couldn't
it. Don't,
do
no
it.
worries.
Oh, wait a minute, video film. Hold up, I have it now. I'm like, oh my goodness. Well, what did I save it under? Oh wait, I'm sorry. It's just talking about Richard Pryor. It's like nothing like really major. But I should have
Right.
did a comedy. I should have done that. Oh, it didn't save my notes. Well, I'll place it at the end of the video. Sorry about that, guys. Well, I don't go live a lot. I think this is my second, maybe third time going live, so just gotta get used to it. But anywho, thank y'all and stay safe. Talk to y'all soon.
Peace.